record enrollment, breakthroughs in the laboratories and classrooms, and excellence on the playing fields, Purdue got bigger and better in 1998.
I'm Jack Carl, Senior Associate Director of the Purdue Alumni Association. One of Purdue's strengths is her student body.
Those students came to Purdue campuses in record numbers in 1998. The West Lafayette enrollment of 36,878 was an all-time high and included a freshman class of 7,086 students, the second largest class in Purdue history.
As we have been able to graduate the smaller classes we had in the early 90s, we've refilled those classes, or those cells, if you will, with larger classes. We're not only looking for quantity, but much more important is the quality of the student.
Purdue's student body became more cosmopolitan last year, with more than 3,700 students representing 123 different countries. International students comprise about 10% of Purdue students. Enrollment at Purdue's regional campuses also rose, with system-wide enrollment of more than 65,000. Freshmen took part in a welcoming parade and orientation sponsored by Purdue Residence Halls. About 40 freshmen are designated Dean Scholars each year in the School of Liberal Arts. The students work with faculty on a variety of research projects.
We're pairing up some of our top freshmen with faculty to introduce the students to research opportunities in the School of Liberal Arts and to help them establish a network of faculty very early on in their undergraduate career.
You guys have had Chem 116, right?
Yeah. We're studying for the test tonight.
Yeah.
In an effort to boost the success of female science students, a number of them live and study on the same floor at Earhart Hall.
With a nice tight network that we have on the 5 West floor, it allows them to have a support group there. So I think it'll keep girls interested in science because they won't be stressed out or frustrated.
The stock price has been up and down.
Students in the Krannert School of Management got down to business, literally. As an extracurricular project, graduate students manage a $100,000 investment portfolio donated by alum Richard Hansen of Philadelphia. Some of the profits are earmarked for scholarships.
Instead of just learning the theory, we get to practice it, and if we make mistakes, we're going to lose money, but we're going to learn pretty well what it means to be in the market and what kind of risks are associated. And when we do things right, obviously we have the rewards.
Let's see if we can read the sentence and figure out what it means.
Elementary education majors learned about literacy at a class taught at a local grade school.
This is really different and helpful to the Purdue students because they can see that the things that they read about in their textbooks and that we talk about in class are real things that are going on in elementary schools.
Chloroplast.
Another project is seeking a better way to teach high school biology. Purdue's Bioscope initiative exposes high school students to biology through a variety of media, including the internet. The program is being tested in 2 Indiana high schools and may eventually be rolled out nationwide.
What we want to do is not just make education a game, but make it interesting, make it exciting. If we can have the student feel that they are in some way setting the pathway, that they are setting to some extent their goals, that maybe they'll achieve those goals a little more.
Purdue distance learning efforts expanded this year with several classes offered on the internet.
One of the advantages of this is all of these students are presently employed by companies, and so being able to have the freedom to look at this class anytime they want is very important.
There was fun to go along with the learning. The Rube Goldberg contest pitted teams from around the country in an effort to devise the most complicated way possible to shut off an alarm clock. The Purdue team took second in the competition behind a team from the University of Texas.
Team 1 from Purdue University completes the task.
Students in the Engineering Olympics came up with a new way to pop a balloon. The roar of small engines could only mean one thing: the Purdue Grand Prix. Kyle Smith of Frankfort, Indiana, won the 41st running of the annual go-kart race. How far can you spit a cricket? That was one of the big questions at Bug Bowl 98.
Various people will have their techniques, but certainly you want that cricket to spiral headfirst into the wind, least wind resistance, and that way it's going to go further. And like throwing a shot put or a discus, you need a 45-degree angle. That's how you get the longest distance.
The Purdue Reamer Club celebrated its 75th anniversary. Among the Reamer's duties is serving as caretaker for the Boilermaker Special, the university's official mascot. Students in Purdue musical organizations showcased their talents during the annual Christmas show. The Purdue All-American Marching Band featured new solo twirlers in 1998. Nicole Faree from York, Pennsylvania is the new girl in black, while Wendy King from Sydney, Ohio, and Aaron Bisher from Jackson, Ohio became the latest silver twins. Purdue students caught the swing fever spreading across America. Members of the Ballroom Dancing Club kicked up their heels before Purdue's Mackey Magic basketball event. Once the dance is over, it's time to graduate. Thousands of students were added to the ranks of Purdue alumni in 1998.
I'm Nikki Horner, Associate Director of the Purdue Alumni Association. Part of Purdue's strength is its faculty and staff.
They're bowling. Everybody, nobody's planning. They're all bowling.
Purdue history professor Michael Morrison was named the Indiana Professor of the Year by the Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching. Morrison is an expert in early American history.
I don't role play per se, but I do get into the lecture to the extent that I transport myself back. And I think it's that kind of engagement with the material, at least in terms of style and kind of a flamboyance at least, that helps me get across to the students.
Is all communication just linear and everybody makes sense the same?
Purdue boasts 21 named and 45 distinguished professors who have been recognized for their teaching and research efforts.
And I think to the extent that this program can strengthen Purdue's ability to keep its very best here and working productively, that's clearly moving in the right direction.
It's small but nice.
Yes. Biology professor Michael Rossman made a breakthrough in his research of the human cold virus. Rossman and his colleagues have been investigating rhinoviruses, which cause up to 70% of colds in humans.
What our studies do show us is really the first example of how a virus infects a cell, which may be much more general than just applying to a large group of common cold viruses.
Researchers in the Hillenbrand Biomedical Engineering Center are making strides in the use of artificial knees.
We want to try to simulate what's going on in the knee joint to effectively evaluate from a mechanical standpoint the performance of the knee joint.
How's that feel to you?
Purdue's Center for Families in the School of Consumer and Family Sciences focuses on supporting families.
So we work with extension educators throughout the state. We work with human service professionals, we work with employers, and we work with legislators. We want to help them do their jobs better. We think if we can, families throughout Indiana will get the most help possible to have the best quality of life that they can.
Each year, the state of Indiana releases river otters into areas deemed safe for their habitation. Purdue School of Veterinary Medicine contributes to the project by examining the animals before they're sent back to the wild.
It enhances their survival ability quite a bit, and I think we're far ahead taking these extra steps to make sure that they're in best physical shape, that they're ready to go out and catch prey and eat and raise babies here.
That's fine. Okay, good.
Thomas Robinson became Purdue's Vice President for Student Services. Robinson came to Purdue from the University of Massachusetts. Purdue Comptroller James Allman was named Vice President for Business Services and Assistant Treasurer.
For his dedication of service to
the Purdue Alumni Association presented 3 special Boilermaker Awards to 3 faculty and staff members. Honored for their contributions to student life were Lawrence Bohl, Professor of Agricultural Economics, Carol Lemby, Professor of Plant Pathology, and Richard Stewart, Director of the Center for Career Opportunities.
I'm Rita Zawisha, Director for Partnerships and Special Projects, and part of Purdue's strength is in its alumni.
Boilermaker alum Dick Dowk donated $6 million to his alma mater. $5 million will serve as the kickoff donation to the $55 million Krannert School campaign, while the other $1 million will go to intercollegiate athletics. 2 alums were honored at the Founders Day banquet during Gala Week. Darrell Peter of Tucson and Karen Johnson St. Clair of St. Louis were given citizenship awards for outstanding work in their communities. 7 athletic greats were inducted into Purdue's Athletic Hall of Fame. The new class of inductees brings the Hall's total to 43. Amelia Earhart wasn't a Purdue alum, but she had a positive influence on many women during her stay as a Purdue counselor in the 1930s. Linda Finch, a pilot and aviation historian, recreated what would have taken place more than 60 years ago had Earhart returned safely to Purdue from her ill-fated global flight.
We wanted to remind the world that Amelia Earhart, in addition to having unbelievable courage, was undefeatable in her drive to achieve her goals.
I'm Denise Burmester, Director of Membership and Marketing for the Purdue Alumni Association. Part of Purdue's strength is its physical surroundings.
Go. Hey, go. The Food Science Building was completed and dedicated in 1998. The facility will house Purdue's renowned Department of Food Science.
Global trade will be dominated by high-value products that the research in this building will help to bring to the marketplace. And from the work that goes on in association with the science and the research in this building, that can lead to more healthy and more nutritious food products.
Another ceremony served as the starting point for construction of the new Black Cultural Center building. The ceremony included a performance by the Chahari Dance Troupe. The new structure will be twice the size of the old BCC building. Purdue Calumet also dedicated a new building in 1998, a $17 million classroom office building. Golfers got their first look at the new Burke Boilermaker Golf Complex, which included the dedication of the Pete Dye-designed Campin Golf Course. The June opening capped months of construction on the project, much of which was done by Purdue students.
Clunk.
The Purdue women's golf team found the new course to its liking in fall competition. Memorial Mall's familiar Hello Walk had a makeover in 1998, thanks to a gift from the class of 1951. An unexpected construction project arose in December when a freak thunderstorm did more than $100,000 worth of damage to University Hall, the oldest building on campus. Classes in the building were relocated for the final weeks of the semester.
Hi, I'm Sharon Martin, Director of Publications with the Purdue Alumni Association. Part of Purdue's strength is its Alumni Association.
The Purdue Alumni Association moved into newly renovated headquarters in the Purdue Memorial Union just in time for homecoming. Construction on the project began in May, at which time PAA staff members moved into temporary office space. PAA celebrated St. Patrick's Day with a party in the Union. During the campus celebration, a lucky alum won a free trip for 2 to Ireland. The Alumni Association welcomed graduates and friends back to campus in April for Gala Week. Celebrations included a reunion of the class of 1973, held in a hangar at the Purdue Airport. Class members included 2 Purdue Alumni Association staff and astronaut Mark Brown. The weekend activities also included the class parade and the Founders Day banquet, with comments from Purdue President Stephen Beering.
We're crossing the threshold of the 21st century, always striving, always growing, always focused on the goal of creating a better world by providing and equipping people for the opportunities ahead.
I'm graduating.
Graduating seniors were sent on their way to the real world during senior send-off at the steps of Hovde Hall.
Come on!
The Alumni Association teamed with Purdue bands to greet football fans with a tent just outside Slater Center. The tent included treasure chest giveaways, free face painting, and fun.
I'm Tim Newton, Director of Communications for the Purdue Alumni Association. Part of Purdue's strength is the success of its athletic programs.
For the second straight year, football coach Joe Tiller took his team to the Builder Square Alamo Bowl in San Antonio.
Boiler up!
The Purdue Alumni Association helped get fans in the mood for the big game with a number of pregame activities, including a Riverwalk event that showcased the team, the band, the cheerleaders, and the fans. PAA again sponsored an official bowl tour, which featured Tex-Mex cuisine and music. A contingent from the Glee Club was also on hand. The team was led on the field by Drew Brees, Purdue's record-setting sophomore quarterback. Twice during the season, Brees threw for 6 touchdown passes in a game, including this win over Minnesota. On the defensive side, team MVP Roosevelt Colvin introduced himself to opposing quarterbacks with regularity. Purdue ROTC began a new tradition of firing a howitzer after every Boiler score. Purdue Pete cheered the Boilermakers on as he celebrated his 40th birthday without a hint of gray hair.
Go, 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 go!
Pete and fans had their first chance to cheer the women's soccer team, which began play in the fall of 1998. Football standout Brian Alford won the 55 and 200-meter dashes at the Big Ten Indoor Track Championships at Lambert Fieldhouse, helping Purdue to a third-place team finish. The men's tennis team finished third in the Big Ten, its highest spot ever, and advanced to the NCAA tournament. Junior Jamie Gordon knocked off 2 top 10 ranked players on his way to all Big Ten honors. The men's basketball team advanced to the Sweet 16 before falling in a rugged game to Stanford. Seniors Chad Austin and Brad Miller ranked in the top 10 in a number of career statistical categories. Over the summer, the roof of Mackey Arena turned from silver to gold as it was painted for the first time since the building opened in 1967.
The Boilermakers charging from...
The women's basketball team raised the roof last spring, falling just 1 game short of the Final Four.
But Purdue wins it 70-65.
Purdue won the Big Ten tournament in Indianapolis, surviving a close semifinal game against tournament favorite Iowa. Purdue started the 1998-99 season in style, upsetting 3-time defending national champion Tennessee in the season opener. Getting back to the Alamo Bowl, the Boilers left fans with a victory to savor. After falling behind 4th-ranked Kansas State 34-30 with only 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining, Drew Brees guided the offense to perfection. The sophomore quarterback found Ike Jones for the winning touchdown.
Obviously, our defense played a huge role in that. I think that this win now will serve as a springboard for our program, and maybe we can take a step as a program versus just being a team.
Come on, Boilers! Slam it hard today! Boilers! Come on, Boilers! Make it go our way! Hey, I can feel it coming! Sweet victory!
Hope you've enjoyed this year's Newsreel, and I hope you're a part of next year's Newsreel by supporting your university and your alumni association. Purdue is one of America's strongest universities because of you and many, many other alumni like you. Please continue your support. Hail Purdue.
Boilermakers, rack one up for me.